Matt Rempe is quickly becoming one of the NHL's most talked about and perhaps most controversial rookies, racking up a staggering 95 penalty minutes and 2 suspensions in just 22 games. The Rangers' 6'9" enforcer has been labeled everything from the next great intimidator to a reckless liability, leaving fans and analysts divided. Today, we're diving into the burning question, is Rempe really the NHL's dirtiest player, or is he just a towering rookie trying to control his massive frame in a lightning-fast league? Stick around as we break down the hits, crunch the numbers, and get to the bottom of hockey's most polarizing new enforcer. And before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So let's get to know our guy. Rempe isn't just big, he's huge. We're talking about a 6'9", 240-pound behemoth who makes most NHL players look like they belong in the minor leagues. The Rangers snagged this Canadian giant in the 6th round of the 2020 NHL draft, and boy has he made his presence felt since then. Fun fact, Rempe actually made NHL history when he stepped onto the ice for his first game, becoming the first player ever to make his debut in an outdoor game during the 2024 NHL Stadium Series against the Islanders. And in true Rempe fashion, he didn't even wait 5 seconds before dropping the gloves with Matt Martin. Talk about making an entrance. And speaking of entrances, Rempe's role on the ice is about as subtle as a freight train. While he technically plays center, his real job description reads more like professional chaos creator. Through his first 22 NHL games, this human wrecking ball has become the Rangers' go-to enforcer, earning himself a reputation that's part old-school tough guy, part modern-day controversy magnet. While he's not busy collecting penalty minutes, he's trying to prove he's more than just a pair of fists on skates. The kid's made it clear he wants to be known as a hockey player first, but so far his highlight reel looks more like a WWE compilation than NHL footage. Now let's talk about the hit that has hockey Twitter absolutely melting down. December 20th, 2024, in the third period against the Dallas Stars, Miro Heiskanen's got his back turned, and here comes Rempe like a runaway train with an elbow to the back. And just like that, our boy Rempe's getting the hit the showers early signal for the 4th time in his young career. Following the incident, the NHL's Department of Player Safety didn't exactly send him a Christmas card. Instead, they gifted him with an 8-game suspension and an $80,000 fine. That's gonna leave a mark on his wallet. But this isn't Rempe's first rodeo with the Department of Player Safety. Rewind to March 2024 when he introduced his elbow to Siegenthaler's head during a Devils game. That little meet and greet earned him a 4-game vacation and cost him $17,000. And get this, after that hit, he actually waved goodbye to the crowd as he was leaving. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. And speaking of fires, let's throw some stats on this blaze. In just 22 NHL games, that's barely a quarter of a season, Rempe has racked up numbers that would make the Broad Street Bullies proud. 95 penalty minutes, 4 game misconducts, and enough major penalties to make his stats sheet look like a rap sheet. To put that in perspective, some players don't get that many penalty minutes in 3 full seasons. And here's the kicker. When he's actually on the ice and not serving penalties or watching from the press box during suspensions, Rempe's averaging just 5 minutes and 46 seconds of ice time per game. That means he's spending almost as much time in the penalty box as he is playing hockey. It's like he's got a timeshare agreement with the sin bin. Now let's dive into what the hockey world is saying about him. After that elbow on Siegenthaler, hockey analysts were lighting up like a scoreboard in a beer league game. One writer at the Hockey Beast put it bluntly, saying, "This is how you get a big target on your back." Others pointed out how Rempe seemed to raise that elbow at the last second on purpose, like he was trying to win a game of whack-a-mole. Not exactly the highlight reel you want to be starring in. Even his own coach, Peter Laviolette, had to do some fancy footwork with his comments. You know it's serious when your coach says, "He's a good hitter, that one got away." That's hockey speak for "Yikes, kid, we need to talk." And Devils forward Curtis McDermott? He absolutely unloaded after Rempe declined to drop the gloves with him. McDermott said he lost all respect for Rempe, especially after dodging a fight only to throw another questionable hit later in the game. But mind you, there's another side of this story, as many hockey fans are saying we're being a bit too harsh on our plus-size pugilist. At 6'9", Rempe's elbows are literally at head height for a lot of players. Imagine trying to throw a clean hit when your funny bone is level with everyone else's head. And let's talk about that NHL speed. Going from the minors to the big show is like jumping from a Toyota Corolla into a Ferrari. Even some seasoned analysts are pointing out that giants like Zdeno Chara had their own adjustment periods before figuring out how to play big without playing dirty. Being the size of a small apartment building might actually be causing some of these problems on the ice. It can be kind of like trying to play Jenga with boxing gloves. That's basically what Rempe's dealing with every time he steps onto the ice. When you're built like a human skyscraper, every move you make is like trying to parallel park an 18-wheeler in downtown Manhattan during rush hour. Think about it. This kid's arms are longer than a coach's post-game rant, and his center of gravity is somewhere up in the nosebleed section. Now throw in NHL speed, where plays develop faster than your average fan can say too many men on the ice, and you've got yourself a recipe for some awkward encounters. But some of the league's other giants have figured out how to dance this dance without stepping on everyone's toes. Take Zdeno Chara in his prime. The guy was basically a hockey-playing giraffe who learned to move like a gazelle. Or look at Victor Hedman, who's out there making 6'6" look like a ballet performance on ice. These guys figured it out, proving that you can be built like the Empire State Building and still play cleaner than a freshly flooded rink. Now I want to look at how his size and speed can be affecting Rempe's standing with the Rangers brass. As you can imagine, Rempe's wild ride isn't just affecting his own highlight reels, it's giving the entire Rangers organization more headaches than a helmet-to-helmet hit. When your enforcer is spending more time in the press box than on the ice due to his suspensions, we're talking 12 games in total already. It's like paying rent on an apartment you can't even live in. With the Rangers in a brutal 4-13-0 skid, having your physical presence watching games from the nosebleeds isn't exactly what the doctor ordered. And here's where it gets spicier. The Rangers are trying to sell us on Rempe being more than just an enforcer, but the numbers are telling a different story. 1 goal, 1 assist, and 95 penalty minutes in 22 games. That's like bringing a wrecking ball to a chess match. And when he's in the lineup, he's averaging less ice time than a penalty kill. Again, just over 5.5 minutes per game. NHL insider Elliot Friedman dropped a truth bomb that hit harder than a Rempe check. If he doesn't learn his lessons, his NHL dreams will come to an end. And we're not just talking about reputation here. Every suspension is taking a bite out of his wallet bigger than a hockey puck. This last one cost him $80,000, and at this rate he'll be paying the league more than some players make in endorsements. Now let's talk about how he can move forward. First things first, Rempe needs to keep those elephant trunk arms tucked in tighter than a goalie hugging the post. We're talking about complete elbow control. The big man needs to focus on throwing checks with his body, not playing whack-a-mole with his elbows every time someone has their head down. And speaking of body positioning, my guy needs to get lower, because when you're 6'9", you've got to bend those knees like you're trying to fit through a hobbit door. Want to know who wrote the book on cleaning up their act? Scott Stevens. The guy went from being the NHL's most feared headhunter to a Hall of Famer who could separate you from the puck cleaner than a Zamboni separates ice from dirt. And let's not forget Chris Pronger. Starting his career swinging his stick like a lightsaber, he ended it as one of the most respected defensemen in the game. These guys didn't just change their game, they revolutionized it. If Brendan Shanahan can go from being a wild child to literally running the NHL's Department of Player Safety, there's hope for everyone. So the blueprint is there. Focus on positioning, learn to use that size advantage without sending guys into next week, and maybe, just maybe, spend more time celebrating goals than waving goodbye to crowds after getting tossed from games. Our towering troublemakers standing at a crossroads. The blueprint for his success is right there, but right now, Rempe's walking a thin line between being the next great enforcer and the next cautionary tale. Hey, if you made it this far, you're clearly obsessed with hockey, so don't be a bench warmer. Slam that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And make sure to tell me what you think about Rempe. Drop your comments below. Is he misunderstood, or does he need to spend more time studying the rulebook than the penalty box decor? Let's debate. And while you're here, don't forget our latest videos like the deep dive into Michael Misa, and for you history buffs, our latest video on the best and worst of NHL jerseys. Until next time, keep your heads up and away from Rempe's elbows, and I'll see you in the next one.